What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Yoga with Adriene vlog. We are in my breakfast nook today, and we're just taking a second to answer some questions. So we have all this great conversation going on the channel, which I'm super grateful for. I know I've said it before, so I won't babble on about it now, but I'm really excited, inspired, and grateful for the nature and the very fact that we're actually having an exchange, like Chris and I aren't just putting out yoga videos and we're not just practicing them, like we're actually talking really in depth and having fun in our private yoga groups, which are on Facebook, and they have to do with the Reboot group and the Empower group, which I'll talk more about later, but also on Twitter, also on Instagram. Who'd have thought? Actually, we got removed from Facebook. I don't know what happened, but it was an exciting times. Everyone's heart started, blood started pumping, hearts started racing, and we all questioned life for a second there. But anyway, we're back. Also via the newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to the letter, you might check that out. You can go to yogawithadriene.com and subscribe to the weekly letter from me. And we actually, I try to respond to the emails there as much as I can. And anyway, just starting off this vlog by saying thank you. The reason we're answering questions here is because we're actually talking, and I think that is super awesome. So that said, I put a call out for questions this week. I put it up at like 10:30 p.m. and the next morning woke up with a bleep ton of questions. Saved you from having to bleep that out, Chris. Okay. Anyway, so I got so many great questions. I actually sat down, I transcribed them all, not even on my computer, like old-fashioned style with a pen and paper, and I organized them so that we will have like whole videos based on like frequently asked questions. So I'm going to do another video on nutrition. I'm going to do another video just for yoga teachers or aspiring yoga teachers. I'm going to do a whole video on like my yoga history and talk about how I got into yoga. So if your question doesn't get answered today, I just wanted to say that it was definitely noticed and transcribed, and it might even have inspired a whole other video. So for today, we're just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to go through a couple of fun things, and then as time goes on, we'll maybe keep this as a regular thing. So the first one that I wanted to tackle today, really simple but so important, tips for setting intentions and maintaining them, keeping them. And some people just went, oh yeah, and some people just went, oh. And I mean, I think that this is a good conversation to have, because the point is that we're actually talking about setting intentions, that we're actually like going into this world of awareness, which again, for some is like, yeah, I do that every day. I set intentions every morning. And some days, you'll forget, or some people are new to this kind of like awareness jungle. Sounds sexy. I'm just kidding. And so I think that's a great place to start on this vlog. Tips for setting intentions and maintaining them. Of course, everyone's different, so everyone has their own, mode. But for me, I like to write them down. I write them in my journal. I write them on my to-do list. Man, if I'm really having a week, I write them on a dang sticky note and I put it on the mirror, on the computer, on the desk. I also kind of have a ritual of setting intentions, in my bed, or just kind of looking at the day ahead in my bed before I get up, before I pick up my phone, before I take care of the dog, just kind of having a conscious moment before I actually put my feet on the ground, where I'm like, what is it that we're going to do today? That way I don't just get wrapped up in my like to-go mind, to-go doggy bag mind, whatever that means. That really means the thinking mind, which is like what we talk about in yoga all the time, something I talk about in my public classes, that are a little different from the videos. We're there in the flesh together, and it's been so nice meeting people who come into Austin to practice, but kind of, not ignoring the thinking mind, but actually the opposite, just kind of acknowledging it and then bringing more awareness. So setting intentions at the beginning of practice to kind of maybe take a break from the thinking mind. There's that awesome thing in Yogananda's book, his autobiography of a yogi, where he talks about, or he mentions his teacher saying, like, what if you were to take a break from that? What if you were to just live life with more awareness? He says something like, what if you were to do this experiment where every thought that you had were to come true? What if every thought you had were to come true? How would you kind of reshape your strategy on thinking, or how would your awareness grow? And so I think when you start to think about the big picture, and you can apply this to your yoga asana practice, like letting the thinking mind take a break and really, like, I know I always say it, but like, get your money's worth when it comes to setting intentions, then you're going to maintain them, baby. Like, it's not going to just become this like, drink more water today, which is great. But like, you're really going to start to dig deep and think about what I think and the intentions that I set are going to come true. And if they are going to come true, how am I going to really commit to that practice? So again, I can give you tips on like, write the intentions down. That's fun. Repeat mantras in the shower, but really just like anchor your mind in this reality, or entertain this idea that every thought you have has the power to come true. And if when you start thinking about that, maybe your intention practice is going to shift, and you're just going to start to maintain them naturally, which kind of leads me to the next question, which is, how do you stick with your yoga practice even when you're feeling sad or shitty? Great question, especially for me as I continue to grow my practice in this business of yoga. How do you get on your mat when you feel like just going to a movie and eating a pizza? Well, my honest to God answer is go to the movie and eat the pizza. That is yoga too for me. Again, most people just like lit up, and half the people just rolled their eyes. But for me, I'm a younger person, but I've been privileged to practice for a while. And for the biggest lesson I've learned in the last, 5 to 10 years is you gotta be yourself. Like, you got to understand that yoga is more than the yoga for weight loss video that you're trying to get through, or the 30 days of yoga even. Like, it starts to bleed into your daily life. Those are invitations into a bigger practice, which is being yourself. And so for me, sometimes that is not getting on my mat at all and totally going to the Alamo Draft House and having a pizza and a party. Just kidding. Or some days it's a walk and then a margarita, or it doesn't even have to be pizza or alcohol, these extremes. Sometimes it's just a couple of stretches in my bedroom naked after a shower. Just got 10 million subscribers. Just kidding. I'm not flattering myself, just being funny. But yeah, sometimes it's not the yoga practice that you think. And so that's how you get into your yoga practice every day, even when you're sad or feeling, low on energy. You've got to be true to the moment, and you've got to give yourself a free pass and understand that that's the yoga too. So, for me, when I practice, I'm cultivating this like insane amount of self-love the more I practice. And that's not just yoga talk. Like, that is for real. I'm looking into the camera and telling you that is for real. And so then when I begin to cultivate this self-love, I begin to like get joy out of giving myself those free passes, forgiving myself when I don't go to class when I intended to, and I find other ways to feel good. Okay? So that's neck rolls in the shower, that's doing something nice for someone, having a glass of wine with a loved one in a real conversation. Maybe instead of tending to yourself that day, you tend to someone else, and that feeds you. So it just depends on where you're at that day, and the real yoga moment is the listening. So that's how I do my yoga practice even when I'm feeling sad. I stay present, I listen, and then the next day I come back even stronger. I was just talking about that, like I had a kind of a bad week last week, maybe 2 weeks. And then this week I just kind of Monday hit and I reset, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that. Time to shift my energy into, something new. And I'm going to help you with that in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do in June on the channel, which might help you too. Favorite position when you're stressed. This is a great thing after the last question too, because as I said, your yoga practice doesn't always have to be the same. You can change it up. My favorite position is to widen my feet hip width apart and go into a forward fold. Anywhere. Do it at Target. Who cares? Great for the nervous system. Great to just kind of ragdoll it out. And then you can slowly roll up, hit the refresh button, and giddy on up and go. That's it. Seriously, it's not a fancy yoga pose. Uttanasana is probably my fave pose to go to when I'm stressed. Somebody asked me if I have a daily routine. I feel like that kind of goes with these questions today. Or do I change it up? Totally change it up. As I said, for me, the yoga, the uniting of my mind, my body, and my spirit and my heart is really all about listening. Yesterday I went to the YMCA with my friend to learn a core workout. Ooh, and I ran into a Yoga with Adriene friend. If you are watching this, hello to you. Fit man, handsome fit man, and thank you for saying hello. And that was fun to kind of connect, because I never go to the gym anymore, so it was fun to see a Yoga with Adriene friend there. So that was my yoga yesterday. We did some stretching on the mats, and then I learned a friend's core yoga routine, which totally inspired me. And then I didn't end up going to the class that I was going to go to that evening. I stayed home and worked, and that was that. So I absolutely switch it up again. Stay present with the listening, and be open to letting your practice evolve too. Sometimes if you just hit the same practice every time, and I'm really into this as a teacher lately, you got to be you in the moment. You got to listen to the birds, listen to the weather, the quality of air in the room, and pay attention to how you feel in the present moment. And then you're going to get the best out of your practice. So yeah, I totally change it up. When you're at home in Austin, what are your hobbies? I don't really want to talk about myself, but this came up a lot, so I'll answer it. What kinds of things do you do for fun? I like to go to the movies. I like to go to Barton Springs. It's almost that time of year here, and also I like to swim. Definitely like to do anything with the dog, mostly to wear him out, but also because I love him. Walking. I need to do, how we have tennis elbow, I need to do a yoga for the chuck it. Thumbs up on this video if you know what I'm talking about. If you have a chuck it, shout out to chuck it users everywhere. Oh my God, so good if you have a active dog. I like to hang out with friends. I like to go to theater shows, puppet shows. I mentioned the movies. Here in Austin, we have a summer film series at the beautiful historic Paramount Theater. I can't wait for that to happen, where they show all kind of old classic movies, my favorite, and it's really fun. It's also really well air conditioned, so in the Texas summer heat, it's a nice place to go. What else do I do? I like margaritas. I like to drink margaritas and eat Mexican food with people I love. I like to go to the park. I like to go to yoga. I love to teach, and I love to share this message of find what feels good here in Austin too, because a lot of my friends don't even realize kind of what we have going on the internet, so I like to kind of welcome them into that. What else? I guess that's it. I spend a lot of time at home these days, which is different than years past, so it's nice to be at home. And honestly, I'm going to be traveling a lot more, so I look forward to what that brings to my kind of daily routine. And so far, every time I leave, it just makes me love, home more. Can Benji be in more videos? That came up a couple times, and I think it's cute. Again, not too serious questions here today, but the answer is yes. We will bring Benji into more videos starting now. Benji, can you believe this is a 6-month-old blue heeler puppy just chilling like a villain? Hey, can you say hi to the camera? Want to come up here? No. Benji, come here. Come here. You're such a good dog. Yes, you are. Thumbs up to dog lovers and animal lovers out there everywhere. If anyone's concerned about my voice, I think it's just because I had coffee, an Americano this morning. I don't think anything's wrong with it, but I anticipate that someone's going to bring that up. Subscribe to the newsletter if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, duh, if you haven't already. Invite your friends. Thank you so much for sharing the channel with your loved ones. We have definitely heard your requests. We're going to go into kind of more in-depth questions in the future. We have free yoga videos coming at you every Wednesday. May is almost up. Whew. And in June, we're going to kind of embrace fitness. So, you know, I definitely love to talk about the integrity of yoga and honor the history and the philosophy of yoga. But I just want to let you know right now that in June, we're getting fit. We're kind of doing a fitness focus. And so we have some ideas on how to do that with you. We're definitely going to bring Empower back, and we want to invite you to do that with us. Even if you've done it already, we're going to talk more about that later, but we'll work together as a kula, as a group. So don't make any other yoga challenge or fitness plans for June. I invite you to get fit with us, and we're basically just going to kind of heed the call or answer the request to get fit for the summer, and I'm going to do it with you. So in June, we're going to get sexy, basically is what I'm trying to say. Just kidding. Thank you so much for all your questions. I look forward to having more conversations with you. We have so much going on. I just invite you to stay connected. Keep checking in with me, and I'll keep cheeking in with you. Keep checking in with you. That's it for the vlog today. We have a new video that I'm really excited about coming up next week. And I'll see you on the mat. I guess that's it for now. Love you guys so much. Take good care. Namaste.